Greetings, I'm Dave Gilmore, and this is Design Intelligence. Overnight, everything can change. Just last week, everything changed in Ukraine. What is amazing is how little awareness such a change is acknowledged or understood in the U.S. In spite of pervasive connectivity and ubiquitous internet access, we still see what we want to see and filter out the rest. We take in information but are deaf, blind, and dumb to understanding what it means in the immediate and near future. Like a large stone being dropped in a small pond, the ramifications of the Russian invasion of Ukraine will emanate globally across four primary and myriad secondary dimensions. The four primary dimensional alterations are geopolitically, militarily, economically, and informationally. Geopolitically, maps will possibly be rewritten as nations reposture to adapt to the invasion and its possible meaning to them. NATO will either newly unify or fragment depending on how each member nation reads these changes for themselves. Asleep at the wheel, national leaders of various countries have grown obtuse to the menacing and growing shadow Russia has been casting over Europe. Over-reliance on Russian energy and real estate investments has lulled the West into a laissez-faire attitude, and the recent invasion was a startling wake-up shock, yet too late to take meaningful action. Economic sanctions against Russia will have limited, constraining impact. Russia has major leverage with its oil and gas industry. That, coupled with Iran's, makes for strange bedfellows antagonistic to the West. Hint: self-interest usually results in isolation. Militarily, Russia is the most powerful player in the region and is exercising that strength. No other nation or group of nations, NATO for example, is prepared to take on Russian aggression if Russia decides to extend its reach past Ukraine. The U.S. has no resolve for war, and as the U.S. goes, so goes most of Europe when it comes to armed conflict. We will be keenly watching how Russia flexes its military muscle over the next 90 days, as that will determine how nations advance or retreat to adapt. Hint: unity of response will check aggression. Economically, we have now entered a new chapter. Global inflation, already elevated coming out of 2021, will remain so for the balance of 2022. The multiple waves created by the Russian action will generate higher cost of goods, constrain trade flows, challenge energy sourcing, negatively impact credit markets, and challenge currency resilience. Much is at stake, and it is critical for built environment industry leaders and organizations to operate with fully aware heads-up consciousness. Hint: cash is king for the foreseeable future. The battle for trustworthy information is underway. Russia has led the disinformation assault on the West for several years and will accelerate this in the coming months. The targets will be multiple: false credit market reports, investor sentiment news, nation-by-nation political happenings, the U.S. midterm elections, and much, much more will be targeted for disruption and confusion in an attempt to trip the circuit breakers of Western governance and decision-making effectiveness. Hint: common sense is a powerful antidote to pervasive uncertainty. Welcome to leadership, ladies and gentlemen. How you respond to these events marks you as responsibly aware or willfully ignorant. What kind of leader are you? Until next time, I'm Dave Gilmore, and this is Design Intelligence.